Here's something I wonder. I see this a lot in Indian films where Shiva is worshipped as a statue. I don't know what it's. Maybe a Lingam, maybe. If I got that right? I don't know. And so, Indian monk, who is awesome, did a video about why Lord Shiva and Lord Shiva worshipped as Lingam. So I thought I'd watch it and see if I can learn something here.
In Hinduism, there are various ways of realizing God. Individual Hindus realize God according to his/her temperament. According to Hinduism, God becomes manifest in various aspects and forms and is known by various names. Shiva Lingam consists of three parts. The bottom part, which is four-sided, remains underground. The middle part, which is eight-sided, remains on a pedestal. The top part, which is actually worshipped, is round. The height of the round part is 1/3 of its circumference. The three parts symbolizes Brahma at the bottom, Vishnu in the middle, and Shiva on the top. The pedestal is provided with a passage for draining away the water that is poured on the top. The lingam symbolizes both the creative and destructive power of Lord Shiva, and great sanctity is attached to it by the devotees. This does not mean others should give a false meaning to the image of Shiva Lingam. It is unfortunate for some critics to have an imaginary invention on the image of Shiva Lingam as a male organ and viewed with obscenity, but had conveniently forgotten how a phallus could have appeared from the base. Moreover, since Lord Shiva is described as having no form, it is ridiculous to maintain that Lingam represents a phallus. This is the reason why Swami Vivekananda described Shiva Lingam as the symbol of the eternal Brahman. When a German Orientalist, Gustav Oppert, traced it to phallicism, Swami Vivekananda cited Atharva Veda that the worship of Shiva Lingam was sung in praise of sacrificial post, a description of the beginningless and endless of the eternal Brahman, and refuted it as an imaginary invention. Hinduism does not oppose science. It does not even oppose other religions. Science is a continuing effort to discover and increase human knowledge of the physical or material world through experiment and observation. But Hinduism has the force of providing answers to certain issues that science could not. The lingam is shaped like an egg and represents the Brahmanda or the cosmic egg. Shiva Lingam represents the totality of the cosmos, and the cosmos in turn being represented as a cosmic egg. Again, an egg is an ellipsoid depicting with no beginning nor end. A glance at the image of Shiva Lingam shows there is a pillar with three marks and a disc beneath it, and sometimes with a coiling cobra snake around the pillar and shows its fangs above the pillar. The truth behind the scientific research by the Danish scientist Niels Bohr demonstrates that molecules, the smallest part of everything, made up of atoms, which consists of proton, neutron and electron, all of which play a vital part in the composition of Shiva Lingam. In those days, instead of using these English words such as proton, neutron, electron, molecules and energy, the ancient sages employed the usage of words like Lingam, Vishnu, Brahma, Shakti, which in turn is divided into Renuka and Rudrani, Sarpa, etc., as Sanskrit was the dominant language in those periods. According to Hinduism, the pillar is described as the column of fire which represents the three gods, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, while the disc or pedum represents Shakti. The disc is shown with the three ridges carved at its periphery. Sage Vyasa, the author of Mahabharata, mentions that Lord Shiva is smaller than the subatomic particle like proton, neutron and electron. At the same time, he also mentions Lord Shiva is greater than anything greatest. He is the cause of vitality in all living things. Everything, whether living or non-living, originates from Shiva. He has engulfed the whole world. He is timeless. He has no birth, no death. He is invisible, unmanifest. He is the soul of the soul. He has no emotion, sentiment or passion at all. There is a mysterious or indescribable power in the Shiva Lingam to introduce concentration of the mind and helps focus one's attention. The contents of Sage Vyasa is corroborated with the instance of that Arjuna fashioned a lingam out of clay when worshipping Lord Shiva. Similarly, in Ramayana, that before crossing to Sri Lanka, Ram, Lakshman and Sita fashioned a Shiva lingam at Rameshwaram for worshipping Lord Shiva, and also that Ravan could not lift the lingam after it was placed on the ground by the small boy. These instances show that God may be conceptualized and worshipped in any convenient form. It is the divine power that it represents is all that matters. And here we see that both Arjun in Mahabharata and Ram and Sita worshipping Lord Shiva as Nirgun Brahman, or the formless supreme being. The outcome of the scientific research is that the world came into existence with the formation of molecules. According to science, two atoms make one molecule. The valency of molecule indicates the combination of the atoms. It is essential to have a clear idea of the structure of an atom according to the findings of the Danish scientist. An atom is made up of proton, neutron and electron. Neutrons do not have a charge and so would continue on in a straight line. The nucleus of an atom is composed of positively charged protons and neutrally charged neutrons. Almost all the mass of an atom is in its nucleus. The nucleus is the very dense region consisting of protons and neutrons at the center of an atom. Electrons are negatively charged and so would be deflected on a curving path towards the positive plate. But the whole atom is electrically neutral on account of the presence of equal number of negative electrons and positive protons. The electrons revolve rapidly around the nucleus in circular path called energy level. The energy levels are counted from center outwards. Each energy level is associated with a fixed amount of energy. There is no change in energy of electrons as long as they help revolving in the same energy level and the atoms remain stable. The Bohr model shows that the electrons in atoms are in orbits of differing energy around the nucleus. It is like planets orbiting the sun. An examination of the image of Shiva Lingam in the context of Bohr model would demonstrate the puzzling truth that Brahma has created the world. The behavior of proton, electron, neutron and energy are well demonstrated by Shiva Lingam. Vishnu signifies proton with positive electrical charge. Mahesha signifies neutron with no electrical charge. Brahma signifies electron with negative electrical charge. Shakti is energy. Shakti is a type of energy field represented by a disk. Shiva Lingam represents the atomic structure. According to the rishis, Shiv and Vishnu are present in the lingam. In Sanskrit, the three lines signify multiple. In the atomic structure, there are protons and neutrons which are surrounded by fast spinning electrons. Shakti is represented by a disk in oval shape with three ridges carved at its periphery. She is energy and plays a vital role in the universe. If one look at the portrait of Vishnu, a lotus is depicted as arising from the navel of Vishnu, and Brahma is shown as seated on the lotus. Lotus signifies energy which has the force of attraction. The stem of the lotus can bend because of its flexibility, signaling that Brahma moves around Vishnu. This is a message that electron is attracted to proton because of the opposite electric charge. Moreover, neutron is depicted as Shiva has no charge at all. The nucleus of the atom also contains neutrons. Neutrons are about the same size as protons but have no electric charge. Neutrons are bound very tightly in the atom's nucleus with the protons. When the atom's nucleus contains as many neutrons as protons, the atom is stable. Similarly, the ancient sages provided the idea when Shiva is not disturbed and separated, he remains calm. Shiva remains calm because Shakti takes the form of Renuka. The energy which forms the molecules is denoted by its valency, which in Sanskrit is Renuka. Renuka is one produces Renu or molecule. Two atoms make one molecule. Hence, ancient Hindu sages brought the idea of Shakti as Shiva's wife and as part of Shiva and dances around Shiva throughout. However, when neutron is disturbed and separated, natural disaster occurs, which signifies that Shakti turns out to be a terror known as Rudrani, Kali, performing destructive dance signaling natural disaster. The actual producer of molecules is electron, which signifies Brahma. Modern physics shows that electrons are shared between the atoms to form a molecule. Therefore, the Hindu concept that Brahma created the earth is in conformity with science. There is another scientific truth that water poured down on the lingam is not considered as holy water or tirtham as it is called. Shiva Lingam is considered to be an atom model. There is radiation from lingam as it is made out of a type of granite stone. Granite is a source of radiation and reported to have higher radioactivity, thereby raising some concerns about their safety. Granite is said to have formed as lava or molten rock, cooled and solidified over thousands or even millions of years, contain naturally occurring radioactive elements like radium, uranium, and thorium. Perhaps this is the reason that ancient Hindu sages advised their disciples not to touch water that is poured down at the Lingam. The sages were aware that there will be radiation fallout if some accidents occur, and this is the reason that Shiva temples were built close to the vicinity of sea, ponds, rivers, tanks, or wells. Perhaps this may be the reason why these 5 Ishwaram temples were built around the coast of Sri Lanka. Though Tondishwaram was submerged in sea on account of the movement of the tectonic plates. Even Lake Mansarovar is situated at the base of Mount Kailash. It is unfortunate that the truth of the great work done by the ancient Hindu sages are misinterpreted by citing some verse in the Vedas. But we are fortunate to witness that the practices and literature were left as legacy. It is a consolation that recent scientific discoveries have
Well, in Bahubali, when Bahubali picks up Shiva, they're pouring water on it. You remember the mom is making the prayers to Shiva, pouring the water on him, on the Lingam, and he picks it up, and then he takes it and he carries it to the waterfall and sets it down. That's quite a statement then. And this is what I'm talking about. These videos are very helpful. So when Bahubali does that, that's quite a statement that he's picked up a central part of Hinduism and has moved it over there. That's showing great might and strength and courage, and interesting, very interesting. You know, one of the things that surprises me, I think maybe it's the right word that surprises me, is how smart the ancient sages were about things like molecules and protons and neutrons and radiation. Like, it's pretty smart. I mean, that's pretty smart. You go back, and I'm sure there are, other religions whose sages weren't so smart. So it's very interesting to me. That was a good video. Indian Monk does some good stuff. I really enjoy Indian Monk and Logical Hindu. They really help me understand more about what's going on, especially when it comes to films, because it gives context, because Hinduism is in a lot of Indian films, and the more you understand it, I think the more you get a better idea of what's going on in the film, and that's important to me. It's very important to me. Side note, go look at Sham Sharma's channel. By the time you guys see this, I will be on his channel for an interview, and I got a little surprise for him, a little surprise maybe, and I talked to Sham about doing a radio show on Dark Sky, and I think he's going to do it. So the team up, it looks like it's going to happen, and I'm excited about it, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace and much love.
Thank you for watching our videos. Will you please subscribe to our channel, and will you please give this video a thumbs up? Thank you.